Tuesday, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Buckeye Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Chad Stryker. Thanks for taking some time today. Hey, real quick, just wanted to thank you guys for all of your viewership throughout the year. I know that there's a lot of Buckeye content out there, so it's been great to have you guys along with this ride, so thanks, appreciate it. So one of the things that I have been getting asked about, and I used to do Q&A Tuesday during the off season, and so this one will be kind of like a half Q&A Tuesday, a half, little bit of a review of the Wisconsin game. So I've been getting a lot of questions if I have, people in the know about what's going on with Michigan and what to expect. And, I posted this a while back, and I mean it genuinely. A lot of the times, the information that I get it a little bit ahead of what you guys do on Twitter. I have some friends in the media. I have some friends around the Woody. I have some, or associates, people I've gotten to know over the years. And then I kind of take all the little tidbits of information, pull out of it what I believe to be true, and then post what my thoughts are and what I think is going to happen. So that's kind of how that works with me. I'm not on the beat. I don't get really paid to do it. I just have a lot of friends in and around football, college football. So that said, for the Michigan stuff, if, as I said last week, this is true, and if, they verify this, it's big, and it's going to set them back 10 years, probably. I'm sure that the NCAA will come in and put the hammer down. So what I'd like to say is, let's focus on what we can control, and that is, our team, Ohio State. Schiano's going to have his guys ready to go. Just like I said last week, Vic was going to have his guys ready to go. I think that it's going to be, Schiano is going to have some trick plays and try to pull out all the stops and try to make it a game. And honestly, their defense is pretty good. It's not bad. They're 6-2. They're bowl eligible. We know Schiano can coach. He's a good special teams coach. He was decent while he was here. That said, we'll see what comes of the Michigan stuff. I posted this morning, and I genuinely mean this, that if this is all true and that this investigation leads to something, I want to see either the Big Ten College Football Playoff Committee or the NCAA provide us with a timeline and an update and what specifically, they're going to do about it and what rules it applies to within the NCAA or whatever. All the leaks and all the different information that's coming out from different sources, all that does is muddy the water. And people trying to find Connor Stallions on Central Michigan's sideline, and I'm not defending Michigan. I'm not. But I'm ready to have a end date to this, if that makes sense. I'm kind of at the point where, like, the first little bit, it was fun to tease, the morally superior Michigan folks and, how they act like they're this superior university because of academics and then to find out that the last 3 years, it sounds for sure like there was some definite shenanigans going on and that the team definitely knew some of the plays, if not all of the plays that were being instituted based off the signaling, and something has to happen, and I imagine that something is going to be bad. Now, one thing I do know from just being around college football a lot is I don't think it will happen this year. Ohio State has to control its own destiny. They're going to have to go to Ann Arbor, and they're going to have to beat Michigan straight up. And that probably puts out of the college football playoff conversation anyways, because I do think either Oregon or UW is going to get in. I think Georgia's going to get in. The winner of Ohio State, Michigan gets in, and I think Florida State's going to sneak in, even though I think they're going to make it through their season undefeated unless they lose in the championship game. So, conference championship. So, I don't, this isn't a year I see two Big Ten teams getting in the playoff. It would really surprise me. And you still have Alabama kind of lurking out there. You have Oregon kind of lurking out there. There's some, honestly, Oregon might be one of the more complete teams in the country right now. They're playing well. They're on a hot streak. They're playing defense, which they didn't do, in previous years under the Marcus Mariota. Those teams didn't play a lot of defense. So that all's going to sort itself out. And so right now, the best thing Ohio State can do and best thing we can do as fans is focus on Ohio State, support Ohio State, have them win out, have us win the Big Ten title, and go 14-0 or 13-0 headed into the college football playoff. That takes care of all of that. It does mar what Michigan does mar the last 2 years, and it almost honestly explains how they went from a 2-4 COVID year to what they're doing now, because their recruiting hasn't changed. It's definitely got an asterisk in my mind for right now. Now, shifting gears over to Wisconsin. So I thought Ohio State played well enough on offense to win. I will wholeheartedly admit that TreVeyon Henderson, when healthy and focused, has another gear that is lights out. I still think they need a second running back to. I mean, Chip Trayanum's great at blocking on the edge. I liked what they did with Xavier Johnson with the end arounds. I hope they can use Emeka Egbuka for some of those too, because I think Egbuka's got another gear that Xavier Johnson doesn't. And that was good to see some of that come back. And I think that's good. All of that's good. Defensively, I've said it over and over and over and over. This is a championship defense. It's an elite defense. It's a high caliber defense, and they're very smart, and they don't make bad mistakes, which is the complete opposite of last year, where some big mistakes were made, obviously against Michigan and Georgia in the college football playoffs. So that said, I would grade the defense out at an A. I would say most of them graded out at champions. I am a little confused about some of what Steel Chambers was doing, but honestly, he played well enough. Igbinosun, very handsy, but he's a big physical corner. And so if they're going to let him play, let him play. And offensively, McCord did enough. I think the biggest, frustration for me was the interception in the end zone. The only thing I could think of, and just in all seriousness, was because the Wisconsin was wearing the scarlet jerseys. Maybe like watching it on TV, it looked like Hallman blended it in a little bit with the paint in the end zone because of the jersey. I don't really know. It was that was just a bad decision, and maybe just pressing a little. Ohio State really probably could have ran away with that one. They probably should have had 2, possibly 3 more scores because of the turnovers. They didn't. Shouldn't have been as close as it was, but it allowed a little adversity, which isn't the worst thing in the world, for a young growing quarterback. I'm a little concerned about McCord's ankle because with Devin Brown being out, a lot of what I've heard is he won't be back until maybe the Michigan State game. But I like the 2 quarterback system down around the end zone. I hope that Brown is back, maybe even before that, maybe the Minnesota game. He gets a little bit of playing time. That's on the 18th, so that's 19 days. So that would be about 5 weeks he would have been out. So maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks with an ankle sprain like that. So yeah, that nice win, great road win, first double-digit road win in Wisconsin since like early 2000s, I think. So the last time Wisconsin lost at home in a night game was in 2016, and that was against Ohio State. So all in all, good team win. I'll take it. 8-0, keep moving on, get ready for Rutgers. Somebody asked me what my biggest concern about Rutgers is, and Rutgers has an extremely mobile running quarterback. And he's talented. He's not a slouch. He's no slub. And so they have a good running game. They have played pretty good defense. They can't throw the ball a lick, but I think being one dimensional against Ohio State probably not the best thing. But this is one of those games that could, because they played Penn State, big top 10 matchup, Wisconsin on the road, and then you got to go to sleepy Piscataway. I'm not saying it's a watch out or a trap game, but don't be surprised if Rutgers tries to throw everything at them to keep it close. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. So I'll have a breakdown on Friday, a little bit more about what Rutgers and what I expect to see, and probably a little bit more based off of what Coach Day does today for the injury report will help to know where Lathan Ransom is, etc. So that's going to do it for me today, you guys. I appreciate you guys again. It's been a great season, great experience so far doing this podcasting thing. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good week. And as always, see ya. Go Bucks.